Coming up on The Cut, Trump pleads not guilty to 34 charges. What is Trump's next step after the courtroom, and can he still run for president?
And TikTok will be banned on ASU-affiliated devices. We have the back and forth between the university and students.
And the new Super Mario Bros. Movie comes out this weekend. What fans and critics are saying about the film, and The Cut starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to the Cut Network. I'm Leslie Chapman.
And I'm Denson Cortez. Today we start off with Donald Trump has been arrested after being indicted by a Manhattan grand jury last week. The charges resulted from an investigation by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg into hush money payments to two women who have claimed to have affairs with Trump.
Prosecutors have been looking into Trump's alleged role of so-called hush money payments he made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels in 2016, right before the presidential election. He is also being investigated for other payments made to a Playboy model, as well as a former doorman at Trump Tower.
Trump was indicted last Thursday. This was the scene in the courthouse days before the trial. As you can see, cops lined the Manhattan District Attorney's office. Many cases slated to be on the docket on the same day as Trump's were pushed or postponed.
This was Trump entering the courtroom Tuesday. For many, this was an odd sight. Donald Trump is the first former president in history to face criminal charges. He entered by himself and he did not speak to reporters on the way in or out. He pleaded not guilty to all 34 charges that he faced. Many of them have to do with falsifying business records that prosecutors say helped promote his campaign.
Before Trump even took to the stand, he posted this on his social media platform, Truth Social. He said in the statement, quote, "Heading to Lower Manhattan. Seems too surreal. They are going to arrest me and then make America great again." Trump also spoke at Mar-a-Lago Tuesday night. Here's what he had to say.
Incredibly, we are now a failing nation. We are a nation in decline. And now these radical left lunatics want to interfere with our elections by using law enforcement. We can't let that happen.
There are still questions on whether Trump can run for presidency. The short answer is yes. Nothing in the Constitution bans a president from running, even if they are convicted of a crime or have the potential of being convicted of a crime. Turning now to the tornado catastrophe. Earlier this week, the National Weather Service confirmed at least 4 tornadoes touched down in Cinnaminson, Jackson, Howell Township, and Seagirt in New Jersey. The first confirmed tornado was in Sussex County near Bridgeville in Delaware, where the storms made their way east into New Jersey shortly after. Shown here is the destruction of these tornadoes. Power lines are down, trees are toppled on city streets, and thousands of people are without power. Schools in Jackson and Howell Township are closed as neighborhoods continue to clean up from the severe storm. Saturday's storm is a result of a front attached to a potent low pressure system that arrived from the St. Lawrence Valley. An American journalist was arrested in Russia while reporting for the Wall Street Journal. He may face several years in prison if he is convicted. Cut reporter Alana Goodman is here with more information. Alana?
Yes, thank you, Leslie. Evan Gershkovich, an American journalist, was recently arrested in Russia for spying, and he may be facing 20 years in prison if he is convicted of espionage charges. The journalist was reporting on the war for the Wall Street Journal as more problems are rising in Russia and the war has escalated. Gershkovich had some idea that he was being followed by Russia's Federal Security Service. Russia is accusing the journalist of spying for purposes of getting information for the American government, such as special weapons. Russia's security service claimed that he collected information constituting a state secret about the activities of the enterprises of the Russian military-industrial complex. Gershkovich was later arrested in Moscow and taken into court. The journalist will be stuck there until at least May 29th. The White House is preparing to make an official announcement that he is being wrongfully detained, which will allow more government resources to pursue his release. White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre said that she is currently in contact with the family and the Wall Street Journal. His arrest has caused concern around the world, and many journalists were in shock about this detainment. For the Cut Network, I'm Alana Goodman. Back to you, Leslie.
Thank you, Alana. We will keep you updated as we receive more information.
Sticking to Russia, a cafe explosion in the city of St. Petersburg left 16 people injured and 1 dead. That one person deceased, Vladimir Tatarsky, a well-known military vlogger with over 500,000 followers. Tatarsky was holding an event when the cafe was hit. There is no indication currently on who is behind the attack, according to the Russian Interior Ministry.
A surprise move by major oil producers earlier this week. They will be cutting production. Saudi Arabia and other OPEC plus producers announced they would reduce production by 1.16 million barrels per day. Oil prices are currently at their lowest price per barrel in 15 months. Industry experts say cutting production could increase the price per barrel. The Biden administration says they are not pleased with the move. Not every OPEC plus producer is partaking in this voluntary oil reduction.
Wisconsin's political future was up for grabs for the state Supreme Court on Tuesday night, and a winner has now been declared. Janet Protasiewicz is the winner, according to the Associated Press. This is the first time Wisconsin's Supreme Court leaned liberal since 2008. The election for the seat created a deep divide among citizens. Protasiewicz defeated conservative opponent Dan Kelly by 11 percentage points. Wisconsin's Supreme Court will play a role in deciding the future of topics like abortion, redistricting, and election laws in Wisconsin. Voter interest has been high from the start. Beyond a single topic, the election is much more at risk as Democrats are almost certain to hear a challenge to Wisconsin's Republican-drawn redistricting patterns, which have helped solidify conservative priorities for more than 10 years.
Turning back to politics, Donald Trump's indictment is not the only thing making waves in the Republican race for president. A new challenger has entered the race. Lauren Bly is here with that, and the new challenger has words dedicated for Donald Trump.
Yes, he does, Leslie. The 2024 presidential race has a new candidate, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson. Right now is a tumultuous time in the race, as the current frontrunner, former President Donald Trump, has been indicted from a case related to hush money paid to porn star Stormy Daniels during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. As of right now, Hutchinson has been the only candidate to call on Donald Trump to remove himself from the race. Hutchinson says the indictment will become too big of a, quote, sideshow, stating the former president should focus on his defense instead of another bid for the White House. Now, this is expected to be a competitive primary that Hutchinson is joining. In addition to Trump, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and conservative entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy have launched campaigns, and several others have said they're considering joining. For the Cut Network, I'm Lauren Bly. Back to you, Leslie.
Thank you, Lauren. We will keep you updated as more candidates enter the race.
Some local job cuts to tell you about in the Valley. EV car maker Lucid Motors will be laying off 1,000 people from their factory in Casa Grande. The factory currently employs 2,000 workers. The factory opened in 2021 and began construction in 2019. The California-based car company is laying off 18% of its workforce overall. Lucid Motors plans to save $24 to $30 million with this move. This will happen over the next 3 months.
For the first time in half a century, America has a new mission that will take astronauts past the moon. The first in almost 50 years, and NASA revealing the 4 astronauts who will make history themselves. NASA and the Canadian Space Agency held an event Monday to unveil a crew of 4 astronauts chosen to venture around the moon in late 2024. The Artemis II team will be made up of 3 Americans, Victor Glover, Christina Hammock-Cock, and Reed Wiseman, and 1 Canadian, Jeremy Hansen. They will travel aboard NASA's Orion spacecraft during the Artemis II flyby mission, setting the stage for 2 astronauts to land near the lunar South Pole in 2025 or 2026.
A famous statue in Florence has caused an uproar from Florida parents. Michelangelo's statue of David is featured in an art textbook at Tallahassee Classical School, which caused 3 parents to complain about a lesson that included a photo of the nude statue. According to BBC, one parent claimed that the image was, quote, pornographic. The school board reportedly targeted the principal because the parents claimed they were not notified before the nude was shown, which ended in the principal quitting. Following the complaints, the Florence Museum extended an invite to students and teachers to visit.
March Madness ended on Monday, with both women and men's games keeping viewers on the edge of their seats. Cut reporter Ruben Porras is here with the story. And Ruben, I heard that there were some records broken during the final game.
That's right, Leslie. The Women's March Madness Championship game was played this past Sunday with LSU beating Iowa 102-85 in Dallas, Texas. This was the first national title in program history for LSU. LSU guard Jasmine Carson led the team with 22 points. Despite the loss, Iowa star Caitlin Clark managed to break a couple records. During the title game, she broke both the men's and women's record for the most points and three-pointers made in a single NCAA tournament. That's not the only record broken, as the game had the most amount of fans in attendance and was also the most watched women's college basketball game ever with 9.9 million viewers. Moving on to the men's tournament, number 5 ranked San Diego State faced off against number 4 UConn in Houston this Monday. The Huskies ended up on top in a dominating fashion with the score of 76-59 as they gained the lead in the first half and never let it go. Tristan Newton led the Huskies with a 19-point, 10-rebound double-double. The last time a team won by double digits in national championship was in 2018 when Villanova took it home. This is UConn's 5th national championship in 25 years, their last one being in 2014. I'm Ruben Porras from the Cut Network. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ruben, and congratulations to the winning teams.
Developing right now, TikTok stays on ASU campuses have run out. The university spokesperson told the state press TikTok will no longer be allowed on ASU authorized devices. There's been some controversy here. Earlier in the week, ASU said TikTok would not be allowed on ASU student Wi-Fi. That is no longer true. The university says this partial ban, they are doing this to comply with a recent presidential order. The order required government contractors and federally funded universities like ASU to cease downloading the popular social media app. Many in national security circles have called the app a security risk. In Arizona, Governor Katie Hobbs banned TikTok on all state agency devices. Officials have 30 days to act.
The WWE has been sold to Endeavor Group Holdings after 70 years with the McMahon family. Cut reporter Tyler Abrams is here to give us information on what this means for fans of WWE. Tyler?
Thanks, Leslie. This past Monday, just one day after WrestleMania, the WWE and UFC have merged after a $21 billion deal. The deal comes from Endeavor Group Holdings. It's reported that Presidents Dana White and Vince McMahon will retain their titles and positions following the acquisition. Endeavor Group Holdings and their CEO, Ari Emanuel, will hold a 51% majority share over WWE's 49% stake. Now, what exactly does this deal mean for the wrestling entertainment industry? Well, this deal will primarily affect the management of assets from both companies by Endeavor Group Holdings. Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel will be primarily responsible for growing the brand and direction of both the WWE and UFC. From the Cut Network, I'm Tyler Abrams. Back to you, Leslie.
Thank you, Tyler. It will be interesting to see if the WWE changes with the merge with UFC. The trial over a 2016 ski incident involving actress Gwyneth Paltrow concluded last week, with the jury ruling that she was not responsible for the collision that happened at a Utah ski resort. After a short deliberation, the jury concluded that plaintiff Terry Sanderson was entirely at fault for the collision, due to jurors believing Sanderson was higher on the slopes when the crash occurred. 76-year-old Sanderson sued 50-year-old Paltrow for $3.1 million after alleging that Paltrow crashed into him at the Tony Deer Valley Resort in Park City, Utah. After a judge dismissed his initial suit, he later refiled seeking more than $300,000. Paltrow countersued for $1 and attorney fees. Sanderson accused Paltrow of barreling into him, breaking 4 of his ribs and causing a serious concussion. The decision ultimately came down to Paltrow's and Sanderson's respective locations on the mountain just before the crash occurred.
After a long wait, we will finally get to see what Chris Pratt looks like as Mario. The long-awaited Super Mario Bros. Movie is out today.
The movie features Mario, who happens to be from Brooklyn. He works with Peach to find his brother Luigi and save the day from evil. But as you can see from the trailer, they run into some hurdles, including common characters like Bowser and Toad. Since the trailer was first released, the film has drawn criticism. But Chris Pratt says to his critics, just wait and see. I don't know, Denton, how are you feeling about this new Mario movie?
You know what? Super Mario's was actually one of my favorite games to play on the Wii. I don't know if you played it, but I remember back in '09 on the little controllers, that was a go-to of mine.
Or
Nintendo
on the DS.
On the DS was a good one too. Mario Kart as well. I'm excited. Hopefully it's a good movie.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us on The Cut this week.
Be sure to follow us on social media at The Cut Network and Instagram, and at @TheCut_ASU on Twitter. Thanks for listening. I'm Denson Cortez.
And I'm Leslie Chapman. Have a good night.